Headlines frequently warn that AI and data centers are on the verge of drinking the world dry and crashing local electrical grids. One widely circulated figure claims that asking ChatGPT a single question consumes an entire bottle of drinking water. Macro-level data reveals a different scale. Data centers account for roughly 1.5% of global electricity use and about 0.3% of the U.S. public water supply. If the entire global footprint of the internet is a statistical rounding error, we have to ask why town councils are panicking and local power grids are struggling to keep up. The vast majority of the world's freshwater and electricity is consumed by legacy sectors that dwarf internet infrastructure. Agriculture remains the undisputed king of water use, withdrawing billions of gallons daily to flood fields and sustain global crops. For electricity, heavy manufacturing sets the baseline. Operations like chemical refining and metal smelting draw thousands of terawatt-hours annually to run massive furnaces. These sectors draw massive resources, yet they rarely generate the specific public anxiety currently aimed at the tech sector. Legacy industries are geographically distributed and have been factored into national grid planning for decades. Data centers represent a new, concentrated variable, hitting systems that weren't built to house them. Much of the public misunderstanding comes from treating all data centers as a single monolith, but the industry is actually split into three distinct tiers. Tier 1 includes traditional commercial centers. Because of consistent efficiency gains, their power demand has remained stable for years, even as workloads grew. Tier 2 covers hyperscale campuses. These massive facilities run by cloud giants draw over 100 megawatts and account for roughly half of the sector's current water use. Tier 3, AI-optimized campuses, changes the mass entirely. This chart compares a traditional server rack to an AI-optimized one. New chips consume 2 to 4 times more power, breaking past efficiency wattles. A single generative AI query requires nearly 10 times the electricity of a standard internet search. This spike in resource demand stems specifically from the hardware transition required to train and run generative AI, rather than the internet as a whole. Because these AI chips consume so much electricity, they generate extreme heat that traditional air conditioning can no longer manage. To prevent servers from melting down, engineers use liquid cooling, where fluids make direct contact with the hardware to absorb the heat. This creates an indirect water paradox. Roughly 80% of a data center's total water footprint actually occurs off-site at the power plant providing its electricity. Fossil fuel power plants consume massive amounts of water to create steam and cool turbines to produce the megawatts that AI demands. A data center's environmental impact is tethered to its local grid. Even a zero-water facility indirectly consumes billions of gallons if relying on fossil fuels for power. The core paradox of this crisis lies in geographic concentration. While the nation has ample resources, the sheer volume of demand is hitting specific locations all at once. To reduce network latency, tech companies cluster these demanding AI campuses in narrow geographic corridors rather than spreading them out. This map of Virginia illustrates the impact of this clustering. Data centers in the northern part of the state now consume roughly 25% of Virginia's entire electricity output. This localized demand overwhelms municipal pipes and suburban substations that were originally designed for residential neighborhoods, with individual campuses now drawing as much power as large industrial cities or aluminum smelters. These facilities have transitioned out of the category of quiet commercial offices. To address these local bottlenecks, the tech industry is deploying new infrastructure to decouple AI from municipal resource supplies. Many operators are moving away from evaporative cooling toward closed-loop systems that reuse synthetic fluids instead of draining fresh water. To solve the grid strain and the indirect water problem, there is an aggressive push for 24/7 carbon-free power. This has led to massive new investments in nuclear energy, including deals to restart dormant nuclear reactors exclusively to power these high-density campuses. The cloud has become a physical utility system of massive scale. To survive the AI boom, it must be engineered to sustainably coexist with the physical world it now dominates.